What if the wedding culture in Jesus' world was so different that it changes how you read entire chapters of the Bible? We picture weddings as planned dates, invitations, and romance. But in the first century, a wedding wasn't mainly about a couple's feelings. It was about survival, honour, covenant, and community. A bride could wait for her groom without knowing the day he would come. And if you understand that, suddenly phrases like "keep your lamp burning" and "the bridegroom is coming" stop sounding poetic and start sounding urgent. And stay with me, because by the end, you'll understand why Jesus chose weddings to reveal some of the deepest truths about faith, waiting, and his return. In the time of Jesus, marriage didn't begin with dating. It began with families. Parents met. They evaluated reputation, stability, work ethic, honour. Because life was hard, disease, hunger, political tension, marriage was a safety net before it was romance. Many couples barely knew each other. Commitment came first. Love was expected to grow after. And here's what most people don't realise. In Jesus' time, once the agreement was made, the marriage was already legally real. Before celebration came a cost. The groom paid a bride price, proof he could support a household. Not symbolic, not optional, public. And a written contract, the ketubah, laid out duties. Provision, dignity, protection. It wasn't written to hype emotions. It was written to secure a future. Which means love in that world wasn't just a feeling. It was a responsibility you could be held to. Here's where things get intense. Betrothal wasn't engaged. It was married. Without living together yet, breaking it required divorce, and faithfulness was expected already. This is why the story of Mary and Joseph hit so hard. When Joseph discovered Mary was pregnant, he assumed betrayal because legally that's what it looked like. And now we're about to understand why Jesus told one of his most famous warnings using wedding language. During betrothal, the bride stayed in her father's house, waiting. She didn't know the date. The groom returned when the home was prepared, when the time was right. So the bride lived ready, clothing prepared, oil ready, lamps full, eyes open. Because the groom could arrive at night, unexpected, and suddenly Jesus' parable makes sense. Keep watch, for you do not know the day or the hour. If your lamp went out in that world, it wasn't just embarrassing. It could mean missing the moment entirely. When the groom came, it was a night procession, torches, singing, friends, celebration moving through narrow streets. And then came the feast. Not 2 hours, not one evening, often 7 days. That's why running out of wine wasn't a small mistake. It was public shame for the groom's household. Now the miracle at Cana explodes in meaning. Jesus doesn't just make wine. He restores honour, and he saves joy. At the exact moment it was about to collapse. And that's the pattern of Jesus. When joy is about to die, he brings the best wine. When you understand weddings in Jesus' time, you understand why Scripture calls him the bridegroom. Because a bride waits with faith. She prepares without knowing the day. She stays ready because the return is certain. And that's the Christian life. Covenant over emotion, readiness over comfort, faith over delay. If this strengthened your faith, subscribe. We're building a channel that brings the Bible to life, with context, clarity, and power. Comment "ready" if you're living with your lamp lit.